Hey guys, Frank the Handyman here. Welcome back to our YouTube channel. In this video, I'm going to be showing you how to spray paint the ceiling in black color, like you see right here. Please stay tuned and continue watching until the end because we're going to show you the entire process of how we were able to do all this so you can obtain the same results. If you want to learn how to do all kinds of DIY handyman projects and home renovations, then you're in the best place here on YouTube since that's all we do here. Consider subscribing to our channel and activate the notification bell so that way you don't miss out on any future videos that we're going to be uploading. The ceiling that we're going to be painting today is square lay-in tiles, and before we get painting all of the ceiling area, we need to go ahead and protect all this furniture since our client has all his tables and benches that are in the way. So we're just going to work around them the best way possible. If you have this kind of scenario, at least with all of this, you'll be able to see and know how you can work around it as well. The first thing that we're doing is putting some plastic. We got this from Home Depot. And so we're just overlaying the plastic on top of all of the tables and the benches and everything. On the floor, we put on this paper cardboard that they sell in a roll, and so we just basically laid that out, and in between each of the cardboard paper, we just put some tape so that way it secures everything. Now for this plastic, we have this spray adhesive that we basically sprayed it on the floor, and from there we just stretch out the plastic like you see right there. We just spray that adhesive on there, stretch the plastic, and it creates like a seal, so whenever you paint, and it's not going to lift it up or move or go anywhere. This is a very important step, especially since once we start spray painting the ceiling, you're going to see that it has a lot of overspray. So and this is a pretty huge area. We're actually going to build like a plastic wall to divide this area and that other section over there, which I'll show you a little bit later. But this is all the cardboard paper that we've installed so far. We still have quite a bit of prep work to do here. On this bench, we're gonna leave those there, and also on the ceiling they have those lights. The owner said that it's okay to paint the white portion of the light. We're just gonna cover the actual the light itself. And then over here we put some tape, and the plastic over there, we just stretch it out, and then at the bottom we're also going to be taping that to the ground so it secures it. Especially once we start spray painting and everything, there's like wind and whatnot, so we don't want this to be lifting up or moving. You know, there's like some trays and restaurant equipment. This area that we're working on is actually a restaurant that our client recently purchased. So far, this is where we are right now. We got mostly everything taken care of. We have all the middle section blocked out. We have the benches on either end already covered. In essence, all of this area is going to be painted in two different colors. This is the sprayer that we're going to be utilizing with a 50 lineal feet of line, and this will be more than enough for what's needed. We have the sprayer, the nozzle there at the end. So all of this is going to be helpful. The brand that you see right here is a Graco Magnum Pro X17, and so definitely very powerful machine. And so we have our 5-gallon bucket right there. This color, it's in between like a dark gray, very dark gray and black color. So this is the wall where we're going to divide. We're basically going to do this by putting some blue tape on the ceiling. And from there, we're going to go ahead and put the plastic up there. So we're going to stretch it out on the entire area. We're just going to tape it up there and also on the wall and just down to the floor to make sure none of the overspray goes into this area over here. We have to do this because we just have a lot of tables and things, so we just have to do it one section at a time. All of this restaurant space, we're going to be dividing it in 3 sections. We're going to start off with this one that we just blocked out in here. And the final details that we're doing is just covering up those lamps This is the wall of plastic that we did right here. This will help us so none of that overspray can go into the other areas. Now we already have all of our sprayer ready and into the bucket. Now our sprayer, the gentleman that's going to help us do this, we're going to have him use some stilts. So the ceiling that we're painting today is about 10.5 foot tall. Yours could be different. It could be higher, it could be lower. In our case, this one is 10.5 feet tall. So a very easy and very helpful tool is to use these stilts, so you can just get everywhere, you know, like you see right here, he can move around, and especially around the obstacles, and paint everything. The only other thing I would recommend is if you have an extension pole. My worker didn't have one at this point. He can still get through everything, not a problem. But if you had an extension pole, that would make it even like easier for you. So we're gonna start off on this corner. We don't really care too much about overspraying onto the wall, especially since we're gonna be cutting that in and we're gonna be rolling the wall afterwards. Since this ceiling is the square tile, ceiling, it's like a porous material. And we noticed that, once we're painting right here, so you want to go back and forth in like 3-foot sections, and then make sure that you give even coverage. And on the next layer, you want to kind of overlap the prior one, and just go back and forth like you see right here. And we're just going to do this to the entire area. So once we did this, we noticed that after about maybe 15-20 minutes that we applied it, you can still see some of the white from the existing ceiling, and which meant that we're gonna have to do this twice. So this is the first application that you see right here. We're gonna have to let it dry for, I would say, about an hour or a few hours, and from there we're gonna have to apply a second coat. Now the second coat, we're gonna do it in the opposite direction, so we don't see none of that white that is seen currently. Now we have another gentleman helping us out with the light. Once we blocked everything out, it was kind of dark in here, so we have another person shining the light there so that our painter can just, see everything. And we just don't want to do, we want to do it right the first time. So basically, like I said, we're just following that process, painting it on the edges there, around any of the fixtures, the lights, there's some outlets, and we're just going little by little, overlapping, and until we can get the whole ceiling painted. And this is the other area in the entry of the restaurant. So while we're almost done over here, the other guys are getting the other space ready, just taking down any obstacles, like TVs or any furniture or fixtures. This is the second wall of plastic that we're doing. We're going to open up that other section that we just painted, and we're going to extend ourselves to this area of the restaurant. And then after this, we're only going to have the main entry space. In reality, we're only going to paint the ceiling in the lobby and in the seating area. So now this is the second application. Like I mentioned before, the last time we applied it once, now we're applying it a second time. And in this one, we are definitely giving it a decent amount of paint. Just, taking our time, going back and forth in either direction, like up and down, like this way right here. And then wherever needed, or if it's possible, we're also painting in the other direction. So once you do this, then it will be completely done. We're going to have to let it sit and rest for a whole day, and then we're gonna come back the following day to continue on with this project. But this is after we painted everything twice. So you see right there, everything is nice and covered. You don't see none of the white spots as before. You have some nice even coverage all over the ceiling, around the fixtures and everything. So all of this, we had to cover it with plastic and tape and seal it up. And this is pretty much how you can paint the ceiling with a spray gun. And this is the other area. So where we had the first wall, we already removed that. And now we have the other wall over there of plastic. So now we're going to be able to paint this area here. Before we do that, we have to put on this roll of cardboard paper. So this is how we normally put it on. You know, we just, right where the seams meet with each of the papers, we're putting the tape, and this will seal it up so you can easily walk on it, paint, and you're not going to get any of it on the floor. So this is the results after we had painted the walls as well. We had to do those by hand, basically just with cut in the edges with a paintbrush, and then we rolled all of the walls, and this is what gave us a really nice and beautiful professional result. So this is after the next day when we let everything dry. Honestly, like, it looks amazing. You know, if you remember how it first came out, the ceiling was like a white cream color, the walls were like, you know, 2 different colors and whatnot. Now everything is black for the ceiling and white for the walls, and this is how it looks right here. Mostly in that area, that's the main seating, and over here, this is the entry from the restaurant. You can see like the walls are like orange look, and the ceiling, it just looks just old and worn out and almost kind of like dirty-ish, you know. So with this paint, it's definitely gonna revive that. Now, the reason why we decided to paint it is you can't really roll that ceiling since it comes in those square patterns. Like, there's no way that you can roll that ceiling. So the only way that we could have done this is by spray painting the entire space. And in this entryway, we're getting close to painting it as well. We're doing the same thing, you know, covering all the light fixtures, just getting everything ready. So when we open it up, we can go ahead and continue on this. Now, we ran out of the rolls of paper, of the cardboard paper. We're just using the like the drop cloths. Those can also work as well. And on this little divider wall, we have like a roll, you know, of like tape and paper that it's connected with each other. We're just taping that there along the edge and rolling over the paper, and we're gonna do it all around all the perimeter, so that way this top counter space doesn't get painted. So this is how it looks right here. We have it all covered and protected, and we're gonna be able to just continue to paint all of this without affecting that counter. So now we're pretty much ready to paint the final space here on the entry. We have our spray gun there already into the paint, and we're getting back on the stilts. So the nice thing about these is they're very adjustable. You can go ahead and wrap them around your feet, your legs. It secures it very good. And once you do that, you can easily just walk around. And these are extendable too. You can make them as tall as, like, to reach up to 14 feet high. And so there it is. You see how easy that is? You can walk on them, move around. So this gentleman, he has a lot of experience working with these stilts, you know, especially since they do a lot of drywall work and painting and all that. So we're gonna do the same thing on this main entry space. This is the last of the work that we're doing here for the ceiling. So same thing, you know, we're just gonna paint around the edges right there and overlapping one with the other, back and forth. We're trying to cover about a 3-foot area at a time, just wherever you can reach with your arm and your hand, like right there, just going back and forth. And when you come back, you just want to make sure that you have even coverage, nice and consistent, and just spraying it like that, then let it go and come back. So this ensures that you get a really good quality paint and you know, and everything covered. So this is like some of the vents and around the lights and all of that. So basically, this is the first application. Once we do this, we're gonna go ahead and take a lunch, get some rest. We're gonna be putting like a couple of fans on here as well. That's another tip that I recommend for you, is get a few fans so you can lay them in different areas and you point them up towards the ceiling. That will help so it can dry quicker. and within the same day you can go ahead and like continue painting the ceiling. So all this area that you see right here, we actually did it in one day. And for the total project to paint everything, it took us 2 full days, and we had 3 to 4 guys working. So 3 guys were getting everything, putting the paper and covering with plastic and all that. And 1 guy, we only needed 1 person to paint with the spray gun. And then when we did the roller, we had the other 3 guys helping out. So between 3 to 4 guys, you can get a project like this knocked out in 2 full days, and you can make yourself some pretty decent income. And so this is the results right here after we painted all the entry space, all on the ceiling. You see right there, we painted all the areas around the lights, and each of the squares, and everything is nice and covered. So this is the end result after we painted all of the ceiling in a black color. And the only other thing that we got to do over here is just paint those walls like these ones over here. So you could, spray paint the walls as well, but we decided to do those in a roll and brush just to be a little more easier, and we just don't have to worry about messing with the black ceiling anymore. So this is before how everything was, and this is the after. It just definitely transformed the look of everything, and we definitely highly recommend this color for a restaurant. It brightened everything up. The ceiling is black, but with the white walls and everything, it definitely creates a really good balance. We hope you like this video. Please consider subscribing to our YouTube channel and activate the notification bell, so that way you don't miss out on any future videos that we're going to be uploading in the near future, especially since we do all kinds of like handyman DIY projects. We do a lot of like home renovations. Most of our work is quite small. We try to just not get too big of projects. This one was a little larger than what we normally do, but it worked out perfectly, so we definitely took it on. But most of our work, it's pretty smaller, like fixing things and renovating stuff around the house. So, but like I said, I hope you like this video, and please send us a comment, let us know what you think, and we'll be seeing you on the next project.